Live, News 8 at 6 starts now.
Those guys are overwhelmed, you know, as it is.
Bad to worse. Words from a bail bondsman to News 8 after judicial layoffs.
And the governor plans a last-ditch effort at criminal justice reform for this year. He speaks exclusively to News 8 coming up.
And some scattered showers across the state. Senior meteorologist Fred Campagna has your Storm Team 8 forecast.
Titles, towns, we now know who is affected after layoffs in the judicial branch. But what kind of impact will that have on Connecticut? Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott McDonald.
I'm Ann Nyberg. As we've been reporting to you, more than 200 people being laid off in the judicial branch. Jobs like judicial marshals and probation officers being cut. News 8's Tina Detel has a look at the impact.
These layoffs are happening all along the shoreline and all across the state, and some tell us that the impact will be felt beyond the walls of these courthouses.
Court services seem to be overwhelmed as it is, and I could imagine having less bodies to do that job is going to make it even worse.
Andrew Maricino spends a lot of time in courthouses. He owns Bailco and is the president of the Bail Association of Connecticut. He counts on court cases to run smoothly and quickly.
We're liable for these cases, and the longer they take, the longer we have liability, thus exposing us to potential loss for even longer.
Caseflow coordinators, family relations counselors, probation officers, and judicial marshals make up much of the 239 workers expected to be laid off later this month. The president of the union, which represents the marshals, tells News 8 these cuts are not only devastating to the 27 judicial security officers, 53 marshals, 47 marshal trainees, and their families. They pose significant issues for the safe and orderly operations of the branch as a whole. Carrie Dyer, COO of Reliance House in Norwich, works closely with probation officers. She worries their partnership could become less effective with layoffs.
And I know already that their caseloads are exceptionally high, so I'd be very worried about what that would mean for the services that our folks are getting.
The nonprofit, which provides community mental health services, is also concerned its jail diversion efforts could be in jeopardy.
I'd be worried that that would be lost in the mix as well, that we wouldn't be represented and folks would be getting diverted over to corrections as opposed to treatment.
Because these layoffs are being done by seniority, you'll see a courthouse like New Haven lose 15 judicial marshals, where this one here in Norwich is losing 1. So afterwards, you may also see some transfers being made. In Norwich, Tina Detel, News 8.
Governor Malloy making a last-ditch effort to get this year's version of his criminal justice reform passed into law. Now, he's hoping lawmakers will give him approval during the special session. Malloy spoke exclusively about his proposal to News 8's Jason Newton today. Jason joining us live right now from the Hartford newsroom with the latest on this sit-down. Jason.
Scott, so Second Chance 2.0 is what Governor Malloy labeled this year's package of criminal justice reforms. Now, the governor says that those proposals are already built into the state budget that passed just last week, and that they have estimated cost savings of $15 million. Now, there's two big aspects of Second Chance 2.0. The first would gradually raise the juvenile offender age up to 20 over the next few years. It would also release most misdemeanor offenders on a promise to appear instead of forcing them to either make bail or sit in jail, costing taxpayers. The governor says that's where the savings would kick in. Malloy says it's much cheaper to let nonviolent misdemeanor offenders walk away with a court date instead of keeping them locked up on the taxpayer dime, since they can't afford to make bail before their initial hearing. The governor's team is going to try and push the bill through when the special session reconvenes at the Capitol. He's urging lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to vote in favor, calling his proposal structural changes.
This is structural. And not only will it save $15 million, but it may very well save $33 million in the short run and the long run by keeping people employed, by getting them back to work. I think the savings are substantially greater than that to the broader society.
Now, the opposition party Republicans seem to be in lockstep against this new Second Chance 2.0 bill. There's no set date on when a vote may take place. Reporting live from the Hartford newsroom, Jason Newton, News 8.
Thank you, Jason. We've been covering Governor Malloy's Second Chance initiative since the start. To take a look at this and other stories we've covered, you can head to our website, WTNH.com.
New at 6, it will be kind of a one-stop shopping for you. When you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles now to get a license or state-issued ID card, you will be registered to vote at the same time. It will be automatic. Connecticut is the first state in the country to have this type of streamlined voter registration process under the Federal Motor Voter Act. Officials say it will take 2 years to develop the system. Fire officials evacuated the state legislative office building today after an electrical fire. It broke out on the second floor and odors of smoke filled the hallways. Fire officials say it was a power strip. It was all put out. Nobody was injured, but because of the smell of the smoke, the LOB was closed for the rest of the day.
New tonight at 6, a New London woman facing charges tonight after police say she tried to steal a phone from a middle school student. Police say 46-year-old Ika Baldwin was passing by a student she knew, grabbed the girl's arm and tried to take her phone. It was a failed attempt. The student got to school with her phone and quickly told teachers what happened. Police say they tracked down Baldwin after the student identified her. She's now facing a charge of criminal attempt at robbery and risk of injury to a minor.
All right, a bit warmer today, but a lot of gray skies out there.
Yeah, that's right. Let's take a look outside. The rain did hold off a little longer than expected. I'm not sure when it did come down around here. It might have held off in New Haven for a while, but for the update, let's get right over to Storm Team 8 senior meteorologist Fred Campagna. How was the rain across the state today?
How about it completely held off, at least until this point. Some threatening clouds here and there, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but really nothing much more than that. We thought we might be tracking a few showers this afternoon. Instead, we're tracking a bug, which has been on our Middletown webcam here, Skycam, for the last couple of hours. Notice the clouds, though, off in the distance, and mostly cloudy skies. 66, comfortable right now in Middletown, and most of the areas in the upper 50s to mid 60s. Still 69, actually, for Hartford. A little bit cooler at the shoreline because of the wind, which is coming in out of the southwest. The radar appeared to get a little active for us right around 5 o'clock, but the threat of showers dissipating out in eastern Connecticut pretty quickly, and right now it's just mostly cloudy skies. Go slightly bigger picture here to show you where there's some steadier rain off to our south, but that is not heading in our direction. So just the outside chance of a passing shower for us during these early evening hours, and then after midnight, mostly cloudy, mid to upper 40s to start the day tomorrow, and temperatures will climb back up into the 60s tomorrow afternoon. If you're heading out this evening, your best chance of seeing just a light sprinkle is inland at the shoreline. Temperatures falling from around 60 to about 55 by 11 o'clock this evening. So Scott and Ann, not much sun in the forecast for us tomorrow, but we have warmer sunshine by the end of the work week. I'll tell you all about that coming up in a few.
Great. Good to hear. Thank you, Fred. And do not forget to tune in to Good Morning Connecticut to get your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gil Simmons. Do that before you step out the door in the morning. Just as good as a cup of coffee there, Gil Simmons for sure. All right, up ahead, local college students getting a nod for their help with a major airline. We'll tell you what they did that is now getting a lot of recognition.
The state launches an easier way for you to start a business in the state. We'll tell you about that.
And take a look at the focus of this year's New Haven Science Fair. A lot of great stuff happening there. We'll break it down for you when we come back. Stay with us.
A project that partnered University of New Haven student interns and United Airlines is being recognized by the National Safety Council. The project earned the Green Cross for Safety Innovation Award because it helped make the workplace safer. The data mapping system was used over 2 years to discover patterns where risk was and reduced injuries. Students got to go to airports all over the nation and even internationally to look at issues the airline was facing. In that time, United reduced damages to aircraft by 23% and injuries by 11%. All of that could help drive down consumer costs.
One of the benefits is by reducing injuries, reducing damages, it does drive down the cost of the airline. These are very expensive types of events whenever there's an aircraft damage. So that does drive down the consumer costs overall. But the other thing is with data, anything that you can do to make processes more efficient is going to result in savings for the average consumer.
The data is now used by many departments in United, including marketing, sales, cargo, airport operations, and tech operations.
Registering online for businesses in Connecticut now a lot easier. The state has a new system in place to help people navigate the process in our state. It'll also cut down on printing and labor costs. You can find a link to that online tool at our website, WTNH.com. Well, the town of Plymouth is going greener. 4 local schools installing solar panels. The panels at Harry S. Fisher Elementary, Plymouth Center Elementary, Eli Terry Middle School, and Terryville High School, all expected to collectively generate 1.6 million kilowatts of electricity every single year.
And students are taking on environmental issues. We'll tell you how coming up next. Fred.
Lots of clouds hanging around all day today. Temperatures right now close to 60 at the shoreline, a little cooler with an onshore breeze, still close to 70 in spots inland. We can't shake the clouds in the midweek. Taking a live look here at New Haven, mostly cloudy skies. They're hanging around on Wednesday, but brighter skies by the end of the work week. The 8-day forecast is coming up.
After 170 years, Lake Compound staying competitive as the season starts up. We're going to head behind the scenes tonight for a closer look and get a peek at their all-new Phobia Fear roller coaster. You're looking at that drop right here, right now. Oh boy, that's tonight at 11 right here on News 8. Welcome back, everyone. Pollution, alternative energy, recycling. New Haven students tackling these big issues in the 22nd Annual City Science Fair. News 8's Kent Pierce has a look at how they are trying to save the planet.
Students of all ages from all over New Haven have come here to show off their science knowledge, and this is a long way from the homemade volcanoes and the potato clocks you might be familiar with. At this science fair, the kids are looking at saving the world. 243 projects from dozens of schools, and a lot of them tackle the worst problems facing the Earth.
So carbon emissions are a very big problem nowadays because of the toxicity and polluting the atmosphere, causing global warming and climate change.
This high school freshman is seeking a patent for his process of making useful methanol by taking harmful carbon dioxide, mixing it with water and a catalyst.
I put in electricity so that powers the reaction. After that, the methanol is produced, and that can be extracted and used for whatever purposes you wish to, synthetics or fuels or anything.
Select the electrodes I used, and the voltage steps indicate the water will flow back and forth.
These future scientists are working on making sure there is a future.
So our project is about recycled paper, how strong recycled paper compared to new paper is.
They're talking about artificial hips. They're talking about cleaning wastewater. They're talking about pollution in our environment. They really are projects where they want to change their world, and that's one of the most exciting things about science.
And New Haven is an exciting place for science. These students can get mentors and internships and maybe one day jobs from some of the high-tech businesses nearby. And thanks to the Elm City Promise program, good students can go to college for free.
Our science fair program is not just today, it also involves those mentorships and internships. We have a great partnership with Yale.
The judging is today. The award ceremony is tomorrow night. That's when they'll find out who won the science fair. But with these young minds trying to solve all the world's problems, I feel like we're all winning. In New Haven, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.
All right, terrific. Well, it looked like for much of the day that it was going to start raining. It just never really happened.
No, a lot of dry air at the low levels, preventing that rain from reaching down to the surface. So we managed to escape with a dry day, but a lot of clouds out there. Tomorrow, more clouds in the forecast. Clouds hanging around on Wednesday. A pop-up shower is possible for us on Thursday. We'll see some in and out sunshine on Thursday. Brighter sky, though, definitely on Friday. Warmer, too. Saturday also looking like it'll be 70 to about 75 on Saturday. Watching a weekend storm, though, it is unclear if that storm is going to come far enough north to give us some rain late Saturday and into Sunday morning. Definitely something for us to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. Temperatures right now ranging from the upper 50s to right around 60 at the shoreline, low to mid 60s as you head inland. The wind right now out of the south to southwest at the shoreline, and that's what's keeping it just a bit cooler down by Long Island Sound. Notice how the wind is more west as you head inland, and it's along that convergence that we thought we'd see a few showers flare up. Nothing much happening right now. There is the outside chance of seeing something pop up over the next several hours. As we go bigger picture here, you can see the storm system that's missing us to the south. There's also another one off to the west. That's what we'll be watching for tomorrow. But a lot like today's system, looks like the bulk of the rain will be heading south of us, and it will stay mostly cloudy and still a touch cool for this time of the year. Very cool for mid-May down in the mid-Atlantic today with the rain and only 53 degrees right now in Philadelphia. Tomorrow in New Haven, about 64. Here's how things will go over the next couple of days. Notice mostly cloudy skies at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. All the rain, though, staying to our south. Keeping skies mostly cloudy tomorrow afternoon. On Thursday, there's a disturbance to our north that may set off a couple of showers, primarily in the afternoon and in the early evening. So we'll be watching for that. Temperatures on Thursday will be in the 60s again. On Friday, as high pressure moves in from the west, we see more sunshine and we warm it up to about 70 to 75 during the day on Friday. By the way, this is the storm that we'll be watching over the weekend. Still unclear if it passes out to sea to our south or comes far enough north to give us some wet weather late Saturday and into at least early Sunday. Skycast in New Haven through the night. Look at all those clouds out there, and into tomorrow. Still a cloudy to mostly cloudy sky throughout the day. A few breaks in the cloud cover here and there during the afternoon, and temperatures too in the afternoon about 63, 64 degrees, and about 5 degrees warmer than that as you head inland. Here's your 8-day forecast. Friday looking like the nicest day of the work week. High temperature up to about 70 degrees. Saturday clouds will be increasing. Chances some rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday mostly cloudy day with a high near 68. Back into the low 70s briefly on Monday, but then a storm system arrives on Tuesday with some rain, and that knocks temperatures back into the 60s. And we could use a little bit of rain because me, like everybody else, dealing with the pollen this time of the year, which is still pretty high out there, and that's going to continue most likely through the end of the work week.
A lot of people struggling with that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks
so much. All right, John, sports.
That's right. I'm here to do it. Postseason softball is almost here, but there are already some games that are taking on a playoff feel. 9th-ranked East Haven hosting number 7 North Branford this afternoon. T-Birds picked off the Yellow Jackets earlier in the year, and this one was just as entertaining. Ed Kristofi's team down 4-2 in the 5th, and Allie Luzzy, she's going to remember career hit 150. Over the fence it goes. It's 4-3 North Branford. Tied at 4 in the top of the 6th. The T-Birds take the lead. Ground ball to short. It's an out at first. The runner from third tries to score, and she does. And when the throw gets away, another run comes in. 6-4 T-Birds, and they hold on to win it. 6-5 the final. High school baseball. 4th-ranked Berlin hosting Middletown. Redcoats beat the Blue Dragons in the first meeting of the year. Got them again today. Second inning catcher Jared Zima gives the Coats what they need. A ground ball to right. Nick Naples scores 1-0. Second inning, Andrew Charbonneau stings one, and that's going to require some hustle from Jake Loisel, and he's going to get around from second base. Berlin goes in front by 2, and then in the 4th inning, they load him up. Kevin Roy with a base hit to pack the bases. They score 4 more runs in the inning, and they go on to win it 13-2 the final. John Beckman pitched well for the win. Will the Yard Goats ever play a home game? Another deadline has come and will go by. The revised completion date was set for today, with the first home game scheduled for May 31st, and neither's going to happen. These were terms agreed upon by the developer of the stadium. The contract said missing the deadline would mean the developer would have to owe the city of Hartford $50,000 and another $15,000 each day until Measure Twice Saw One Stadium is finally complete. All right, in just a few minutes, we will talk basketball. UConn has a big game on its schedule against Texas, which is where the Connecticut Sun are. We'll have a preview of their game coming up against San Antonio. See you in a few minutes. Connecticut Sun center Kelsey Bone likes playing in Texas, and why wouldn't she? That's where she's from, and that's where she played college ball at Texas A&M. On Thursday, the Sun plays San Antonio in San Antonio. Last year, Bone averaged 17 per game against the Stars. The Sun are looking to rebound after a 23-point loss to open the season in Chicago. Bone, the league's most improved player a year ago, an all-star as well, says the Sun is built to win.
And I think for me, and as well as my teammates, that's kind of our goal. We've been here, potential, all those words have been thrown around, but we kind of want to win some basketball games. We want, to still be playing basketball in September and October, and we feel like we have the pieces and the puzzles kind of finally coming together to do that.
A weird tip time Thursday, a noon start against former UConn All-American Mariah Jefferson and the Stars. College hoops, the UConn women will take on Texas on December 4th at Mohegan Sun Arena, all part of the Jimmy V Classic. With the big 3 gone, UConn will look to a new cast of characters to beat the Longhorns. Huskies are 7-0 all-time against Texas, including a pair of NCAA tournament wins the last 2 years in the Sweet 16 and this year in Bridgeport as well.
And so no-go on the stadium. You think that's going to get done?
I don't know. It's getting worse and worse, and they're blowing a golden opportunity because they have a good team with a lot of prospects. It would have been great to see them in that stadium from the get-go.
Story on that this week.
The city will get some money, though, if they don't make it. Looks like they're not
it's
going.
embarrassing.
All right, thank you.
Fred, what do you think? What are you seeing over there?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of clouds for the next couple of days. Finally, some sunshine on Friday. Doesn't last for too long, though. We go from sun to clouds on Saturday. There is the possibility of seeing some rain Saturday night and into Sunday morning. We're tracking a storm that may come close enough to give us some rain over the middle part of the weekend. On Sunday afternoon, mostly cloudy skies with a temperature in the upper 60s. So temperature-wise, that weekend not looking too bad. Low 70s Saturday, upper 60s Sunday.
I was at Lake Compounce today for a story. They want to know if the weather's going to be good. Folks are ready to ride this new roller coaster. We'll get to that tonight. And remember, you get all the news, weather, traffic anytime at WTNH.com.
Good night. See you later.